Ladies and gentlemen, seekers of truth and knowledge, welcome to a one-of-a-kind experience that will take you on a captivating journey beyond our world. Today, we have a special treat for you as we sit down with the renowned Andromedan Contactee Alex Collier. Prepare yourself for a rapid-fire question and answer session that delves into the depths of cosmic wisdom and unveils the mysteries of the universe. As always, please remember to like this video and share it with your friends and family. That way, it gets seen by more truth seekers. So, without further ado, here are today's rapid-fire questions and answers.
What are your views on the future of the global financial system and stock market in the short term, i.e. collapse? And are there higher forces controlling the sequence of events to be played out in order to keep the world afloat if and when the Rothschilds and bloodlines lose control? I listened recently to one of your 1990s talk where you mentioned the alien lineage of the Rothschilds.
Okay, yeah, that's old news. That whole system is virtually gone. It's virtually dead. The financial system, of course, is going to something different. Instead of bank to bank, total central bank control of all things, we will be going to a blockchain ledger system, which in fact has been used for quite some time in black projects and in breakaway societies. There you have it. So it's new to us, but it's not new. It works, it can be secured, it can be protected, and it's accountable. Key operative words there. It is accountable. The quantum system, we'll have to see how that all plays out. The cryptocurrency system, there will be changes in what it is now to something that is more regulated. That's going to occur. Every country that is going to an asset-backed currency system, and at last count, it was 143, have already made the transition. They're just waiting to go live. They're creating a regulated cryptocurrency system for their own countries, which will be used on the blockchain system. There's lots of information out there. You just have to research it. The stock market, the more the Federal Reserve fed it, the higher it got. The higher it got, the more fraudulent it became. Point of fact. If you have the ability to put things into real assets, I would do that. And during this transition, I hope you have heard me when I said make sure your pantry's full. If you can, get your hands on some silver. If you can, buy some food storage, or at least make sure your pantry is full. Fill it to the max. Canned goods, canned vegetables, things like that. If you can store a little water or have a water purification system, have that for this transitional time. No one knows for a fact what's going to happen except for those who are manipulating the system. But they're not talking, obviously. But we know that there is a manipulation of the system. And we also know that the old system, which has been manipulating everything, is going to be coming down. There is a transitional period from that system of being allowed to collapse, because that will bankrupt the deep state and the cabal. This has to happen. So they're going to go from here to the bottom, hopefully with a crash. Like remember the old Road Runner and Kylie Coyote where Coyote falls off the cliff, and you're watching then there's a little puff of smoke at the bottom. Hopefully that's what happens to the cabal and the deep state. But, we're going to have to be able to take care of ourselves and our loved ones during the transition of that. I don't know how many weeks it's going to be or a month. I don't know. Like you, I'm doing the best I can to prepare for it. And like most of us, it's very difficult because we struggle every month to make ends meet, and the price of everything keeps going up because they're fucking with us. It's pure and simple. Because we no longer want to be slaves, so let's punish them. Right? Well, that's just what it is. Love them unconditionally, but you can kiss my ass.
What does healing with plants frequencies look like in 4D compared with what it would be like in 5D?
Michelle, that's a wonderful question. I have no idea about what it would look like on 4D. I have not spent any time on 4D, any time to speak of, other than passing through it. My only experience is in 5D. And in 5D, all living things have a relationship with each other. And that relationship begins with acknowledgement of the relationship. It starts there and it ends there. That's the simplest way I can put it. In fifth density, the love you give is the love you get back. The respect that you give is the respect that you get back. Hence, everything's a mirror. And if something's out of balance, it usually has to do with the person, the being itself, his self or herself, not with nature. So, but I can't speak for fourth. Maybe Megan Rose can, or Elena Danan, or Danny Henderson. Any one of them could probably answer that question for you. But I have not spent any time in the fourth dimensional realm to speak of outside of my dream body. And they've grounded me for a while because I had to be rescued. So I'm on a real short leash now, which I just love. I just love being on a short leash.
Hola. Still want to know what all those new moons are doing in our solar system. Gateways for the rich or relocation hubs for 3D?
No, they're not condos for the rich. That ain't happening. And I have addressed this question in the past already. There are raw materials on most of those moons that we will need here in order to build some new technology and or to increase existing technology. Some of it involve minerals that when added frequency to it will remove toxic chemicals, uranium, things of that nature from the atmosphere and the oceans. So that's one of the primary reasons I was told that those moons were brought in here. Uh, the process, if we do it ourselves, will take several years or many years. And I would imagine that would be something we would all want to participate in. And so, because those minerals virtually don't exist on our planet, they had to be brought in here. So, when it's time for that and that type of healing and cleansing to be done, those moons will probably be brought closer to us in a specific orbit where we can mine them and bring the material to Earth. And that does several things. It begins the process of preparing us for space travel. It gets us, creates incredible jobs. And your everyday construction workers, laborers, now become astronauts. You see, it's a whole new world that's coming. A whole new world. And in doing that, we can leave the earth alone and allow her the time she needs to heal, which she does on her own and she can do. All right. So that's why these moons have been brought in here. So we can let the earth heal and we can begin the process of learning how to work in space, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So it's all good. It's all good. But no, I'm not aware of any summer condos, etc. Now, could some of them be used as vacation spots, and could they all be, turned into luxury hotels on the inside? Nothing can be ruled out. I mean, we're a very creative group down here. We'll have to see what happens. Okay, but at the present moment, that's all I know.
I have a question about entity attachments. If these dark entities cannot survive above lower 4D, would that mean that these entities would fall away from people with such attachments as they ascend to higher 4D and hopefully 5D, or would having an attachment keep them from rising above lower 4D?
There's two parts to that question. It's a great question, Molly. The part of it that I'm not sure of is, well, one, should the soul, the physicality, move into fourth and then higher fourth? Yes, that would be the end of the attachment. I'm not sure that the attachment could actually make it into fourth, first of all. The second is, once the being, whoever it is, he or she, is aware that they have an attachment, the process then would begin to relieve themselves of it, to get rid of the attachment, to let it go, to expel it from your energy field. And I would think that we would have people who are very educated in that there to assist. Most people don't even know they have attachments. The worst of the most people have ghost attachments. People who, because of religious doctrination, who felt that they were not worthy, that they were horrible because they made a mistake, chose not to go to the light because they didn't want to be judged by God and sent to hell. So they just stuck. They just chose not to go anywhere. And now they're stuck in between living off other people's energy. I really honestly still don't feel like we have enough information about all of that. I know I don't. I am not at all happy with the limited information I have regarding this field. And I have shared with you numerous times the woman who's very, very knowledgeable on this, and there are others too. But we don't have enough information, and maybe that's information that will be coming through disclosure about this element of our reality, which we know little about. We do know that attachments cause physical disease and sickness. This we do know. We also know that it can cause psychotic episodes, multiple personalities. All of these things are contributive to mental illness as well. It may not be the sole reason, it may not be the only reason, but it contributes to it as well. So there's a lot of things that we have to deal with, and hitchhikers, attachments, hitchhikers is one of them. So, that's something we could all be more educated on. Okay? But at the moment, I don't have enough information either about it. I do know, though, that a ghost is not going to jump to a higher vibration. It's not how it's going to happen for them. Okay, they have to come in through the reincarnational physical process. And what that looks like for them, I simply don't know. At the moment, that's above my pay grade. Okay. But I will continue to explore that. And if I can get more information regarding it, then I will. Right now I'm pretty focused on humanity becoming free as a whole from the reptilian agenda. Bottom line. That's what I've been fighting 30 plus years, in battling for 30 plus years. And doing whatever I can to enlighten everyone else about the idiots who are part of humanity who have betrayed and sold us out. Making sure they get their comeuppance in some way, whether I'm here or not.
Alex, given the potential of the volcano in the Canary Islands to inundate the east coast of the US, are the benevolents using technology to ameliorate the situation?
William Stephanie, I've been thinking about you several times this week. I owe you a phone call. It's just that every time I pick up the phone, I get distracted with something. So I apologize for that. I do not know, but I don't see that actually happening. I don't necessarily see this horrible, massive, destructive tsunami. Is the technology available by the dark side to make it blow? Yes, but there's always a counter to it. And there's also, technology or those that have the ability to calm things down. My gut just tells me it isn't going to go. Just like Yellowstone is never going to go. Not in our lifetime anyway, or, for the next 10,000 years or so. It's not going to go. It's interesting, isn't it, how the energy that the planet's reacting to. I'm more curious as to why suddenly are all the volcanoes lighting up? Where are we Where is our solar system in relationship to the galaxy that this is all that all these things are turning on now all at once? What is it? Where are we? How is it that the earth is reacting in this way, and yet those of us are feeling more light, more presence of a higher spirit? What is there a relationship? What's the correlation here? I'm more interested in that. It's that flow. It's finding that flow that we were talking about earlier. What is that flow? Is the earth, are these volcanoes going off to help the earth expand, to create more land mass, to grow herself, expand herself at the equator and in other places? These are all things to take into consideration. I mean, the earth is alive. She's very smart, and she's always in tune to source. It's a great question. At the moment, I don't know, but my intuition is that it's not going to blow. And I don't, and I want to be right on this. I don't want a tsunami to hit the East Coast or anywhere. There's been enough of this stuff. There's been enough death. We have other things to think about all those people who have been tricked into taking this poison. I would want us to put our energy into that and helping these folks. Because everyone we turn around is another person who's awake. That's what we need. We need more candles here, more lions, than sheep. And the sheep are always scared. So I want more lions, more candles.
The weird banking issues are being accelerated, even though there are protests all over the world. Does this mean the Cabal is winning or losing? As always, many thanks and blessings.
You're welcome. I think they're desperate. I think they're losing. I think they're absolutely losing, and that's why they're grasping at straws, and they're literally throwing it all against the wall right now. Because maybe there's no deals, so they have to go all the way with their agenda, because they're losing and they're desperate to do whatever they can to maintain control. Remember, and this is really, really important to remember this. Energy flows where focus goes. Or you can say it another way. Where focus goes, energy flows. What is literally creating this matrix, this reality? Our beliefs, our belief in it, that that's what's real. But it isn't real. What we've been living, the way we've been living, is not really truly who we are. And humanity is finally awakening to this. Let's assume everyone on this call has 11th density structures right now in their brain that are turned on, that are operating, that are communicating. Okay, 11th density. We're talking right there at the throne of God. Whatever your interpretation of who that is or what that is. But right there at the front door, the top step of the throne of God. Is this the way we're supposed to be living here on earth? I mean, do you really think that? No, it's not possible. It's not possible. This can't be all there is. So, the minute we change our mind that this is not what we want, it falls apart, it goes away. And then we're still left with what I said to you earlier, creating what we want from scratch. Part of that is obviously the plan to take Earth from third to fourth to fifth. That's obviously the plan. That in itself may have been the mission all along. We got sidetracked and hoodwinked and stuck in an illusion. All of that will become more and more clear in the days ahead, or the weeks or years ahead. But right now, what we're confronted with is, are we free? Are we a lion and a candle and free? Or are we going to surrender ourselves to become a slave of a parasitic presence that has done nothing but feed off of us? When you break it down, bottom line, that's what it is. That's what it is. Do we allow them to feed off of us or not? And for what purpose would we do that? So they can live by killing us? No. No deal. No deal. That's what it is. Look what they're doing to the kids. I'm not even going to go into it, but you already know. Look what they're doing to our children. That's who they're targeting. No. No deals. No deals at all. Now that we know, they have to go. They have to go. I wouldn't even let them surrender personally, but that's not up to me. No deals. So, seems to me the choice is really clear, right? It is. It's really, really clear. We fight for them. We fight for ourselves. We protect each other. In protecting each other, we all remain free. In defending each other, we all remain free. There you go.
There you have it, fellow truth seekers. An enlightening and exhilarating rapid-fire question and answer session with the remarkable Alex Collier, sharing his profound encounters with the benevolent Andromedan extraterrestrial beings. As we continue on our cosmic journey, let us embrace the wisdom of the Andromedans and carry their message of love, unity, and compassion with us. Together, we can create a world where humanity stands united, ready to embrace the wonders that await us in the vast expanse of the universe. If you found this rapid-fire question and answer session fascinating, don't forget to hit that like button and share this video with your friends and family. Subscribe to our channel and ring the notification bell so you never miss out on more captivating content like this. Thank you for joining us on this incredible adventure. Until next time, may the stars guide you on your path of enlightenment and exploration, and remember to always seek knowledge and stay curious. If you would like to see Andromedan Contactee Alex Collier live via video stream, we host an online seminar 3 times a month on a Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. For more information and dates of upcoming online seminars, please visit alexcollier.org. Please click on one of the above videos to seek more of Alex Collier's knowledge.